Welcome to Away Again Travels, as Nona and Bop travel around using Bop's points. That's my favorite thing to do, as you guys all know already. So today we want to talk about our grand adventure. We went to Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and then we ended up in Berlin and flew home for Frankfurt. So it was kind of one of our crazy trips, but this time it was a little more extended than doing something crazy in a weekend. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about the first half of the trip, Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Most of our friends, when they heard where we were going, is like, where? Where are you going? And they'd heard of Dubai before.
Because of Dubai chocolate.
Yeah, Dubai chocolate and the tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Nobody had ever heard of Abu Dhabi. But I'll tell you, it is a vacation out of this world. It's an experience like no other.
It was a surprise. Like, we had no idea what to expect. And it just was a treat to have something totally different. Weather was obviously very different. The culture was different. It just was a really nice surprise. Nothing I had ever experienced before.
So our trip began in Boston, where we had repositioned to Boston to fly over, because that's how Nona and Bop do it. We fly where the deal dictates and when the deal dictates. So we have pretty flexible schedules. I can plan out my vacation time. She works remotely, so we just look and see when we find the great business class flights. So we found them on Etihad. That was a great experience. Did you? That was great.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was very elegant. The service was awesome. We just can't say enough. And in our other video, you'll see.
Yeah. So on my channel over on the Rewards Master, I have a full review of that, so you can check that out if you want.
It's really neat.
So we got over there, and then we took a black lane car, which is basically a limousine service. So we get off the plane. There's a guy holding a placard with our name. Yeah, little sign with our name. And he carried our bags to an S-Class Mercedes, drove us all around. He even took a couple detours.
Yes,
remember?
because we were talking about it, had never been there before. So he actually drove by the Grand Mosque, took the exit, and so we got to quickly see
that before we took a tour later. And then it was neat. He kind of showed us some sightseeing on the way to our hotel.
And the black lane, for that kind of special car service, it was $106 US for that ride. But with the City Strata Elite card, you get two $100 black lane credits every year. So it really only cost us $6. So that was kind of a neat thing.
And the car was so nice. And he had little water bottles sitting back there for us. And it was fancy. It was nice. It wasn't like a long limousine like you think about when you go to prom, but the car was, a typical sedan, but very elegant, very nice.
Yeah. So we got to the Conrad Abu Dhabi. So not only had we been on the best flight of our lives, and we've flown like 9 or 10 different business class flights, but that one was definitely the most elegant. Do you agree?
Oh, yes, for sure.
And then we get to the hotel, and we're at the nicest hotel stay in our lives, at the Conrad Abu Dhabi. Because of our diamond status, they upgraded us to a top floor type, well, at least a mid-floor. I think we were on the 51st floor.
Yeah, I think we were. It wasn't the top, but for us, it was awesome. When you check out my video, when I did the review on it, you'll see all the ins and outs, but you'll also see me talk about the elevator.
Yeah, Nona doesn't like elevators very much. But we were on the 51st floor and a one-bedroom suite because of our diamond status through the Hilton Aspire card. They had upgraded us. And wow, this room was just elegant. The view was magnificent. Yeah. We're right across from, I think it's probably the president or the
President's Palace.
King's Palace? Maybe they have a king. I don't know how it is.
I'm not sure either, but it's one of them.
Yeah, we were right across from the palace, right on the water. So our hotel had a beach out from the pool area. It had an observation deck at the very top.
Yes.
It was just, the food had 2 Michelin star restaurants in there. Mm-hmm. It was just unbelievable.
Our breakfast buffet that came with being a diamond status was amazing. It had stations from all kinds of different countries. So it wasn't just that you got to experience their food, you also got to experience many other countries. There were things on that bar that I had never seen before.
It was unbelievable. Really, and then you had a full menu as a Diamond member. Yes. I think the Gold members probably just had to eat from the buffet, but as Diamond members, they had a full menu also, and it had fancy stuff on there.
And it also had us our own little eating area, like that we went to like to the right, and we got to sit in an area that was only set up for us Diamond.
So our second day there, we had decided we wanted to go to some of their amusement parks and enjoy an adventure. And I think Nona also has some videos on these particular activities. But just to kind of sum up what we did that day, we went to 2. They're on the Yas Island, and Yas Island has 4 different amusement parks, soon to be 5, including Disney is coming.
And every Uber driver every Uber we got into, they were talking about how Disney's coming. So they were very proud that it's going to be there. I want to say, I heard several say like in 2035.
Yeah, it's going to take about 10 years to build it.
It's going to take some time to build it, but it's going to be on this Yas Island where all the other amusement parks are. So it'll be a nice little setup.
And they're very close by. You could walk between them all, but because it's like 120 degrees, you probably don't want to.
Of course, that was the time of year we came. We came at the very end of their hot season, which, to be honest, was totally perfect because the crowds were not bad. But the weather, I mean, it was hot, but it was doable.
You understated the crowds were not bad.
Okay.
So
let me re-say, we were the only couple in the whole country. No.
Not quite. But when we were at Ferrari World, there were less than 100 people in the whole amusement park.
We literally were walking around. It was crazy.
The only people we saw for like 25 or 30 minutes were just people who worked there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
crazy.
Unbelievable. Check out the video on that.
When we went to
Warner Brothers, it was a little bit, it had more people, but not like what we're used to.
Not what you're used to in any amusement park. Any amusement park in the United States.
No, I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, so we went for the first like 4 hours maybe to Ferrari World. We did everything they had probably twice in that 4 hours because there was no lines, including the fastest roller coaster in the world that I did. Nona was a little bit chicken to do that, but I did it.
I had already ridden a couple by then, and I was a little...
She's got queasy. So then we went over and just took a little free bus over to Warner Brothers, enjoyed the rest of the day over there. I think we ate some food in both of the parks.
Both of the parks,
And it was just typical amusement park food, but it was pretty inexpensive. I think it was less than what you pay at amusement parks in the States. Definitely less than Disney.
Yeah, probably. And it wasn't anything special, but it wasn't bad either. So it was just average.
Right. And as far as our food experience in Abu Dhabi, I'd say that's pretty true of Abu Dhabi.
In truth, I kept trying to find things that were their culture. A lot of times when we travel, I want to eat what the locals eat. I want to see what their food is like. And we had a hard time finding something that was true to them. Now, I will say
we ate at the best Thai restaurant we have ever had in our lives, but that again is not unique to their culture.
So then the next day in Abu Dhabi, Nona wanted to go to the Grand Mosque, okay?
Yes.
So at the Grand Mosque, I mean, we're Westerners, we're Americans. We thought, well, we want to respect their culture, obviously.
Absolutely.
So she dressed up head to toe,
and
was
what
covered.
I thought was appropriate. I had a shirt to my wrists, and my pants went all the way down to my ankles. However, they were like a linen. Obviously, it's hot, so I wanted something that was breathable. So I wore like a linen outfit. And
you had your head covered with
and
like
I had a little scarf. And when we got there, that was the only thing that was very
different,
unique to their culture.
Yeah, so they
literally did a head to toe
inspection. They had inspectors, and it was strict. So but what was weird is there's a whole bunch of shops there where you go in.
Before you get to the mosque.
Because they have this problem all the time. So we bought her a little something that we'll probably use like whenever we have special events like Vacation Bible School at church because it's going to be great for that.
But
it's
so
a head to toe, right? $10.
Yeah. And after the fact, I thought to myself, I should have bought a couple just to bring home for fun and different times that we dress up. But yes, it was a head to toe. And really and truly, it was thin as well. So I kind of thought it was funny that they told me I couldn't wear what I was wearing and had to go in that. But I did have fun. It was...
Yeah, everything there was pretty inexpensive as far as the food. I didn't think the hotel, that Conrad was so cheap. It was like $150 or $60 a night.
Which is amazing because it is the fanciest, most elegant place we've ever stayed.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
And huge. Everything there is very spacious and very big. It was just amazing.
So the next day, we decided to move over to Dubai. If you don't know this, Abu Dhabi and Dubai are both in the United Arab Emirates, the same country, and they're about an hour's drive apart. So we didn't know how to get from one to the other. There wasn't really like Subway or anything like that. So we just hired an Uber, and that was one of the more expensive parts of our trip. I think that was like $125 US dollars.
But it was
to get
an
from one
hour
to the other.
drive. It was, so I could see it. It's a very straight drive. It was not a difficult drive, but it was it was an hour at least, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. And now Abu Dhabi and Dubai are very different feel about them.
Yes,
Dubai
absolutely.
is gigantic. It is New York on steroids. I mean, it is
weirdly enough,
huge
though,
buildings everywhere.
The huge
Buildings everywhere. But the couple things that I took away from it, it's really one.
main highway.
Yeah, it's like one street.
Everything is built along that main highway. Now, obviously, I'm sure there's smaller buildings, once you get out, but I did think it was kind of odd that you had everything was built around this one main road to get into Dubai. And then another thing that I thought was odd is I kept recognizing buildings. So they have a lot of buildings that are in other countries. So what was some of the ones that we saw the Empire States Building, one that was shaped like it. They had the Sydney
Opera House.
the Opera House in Sydney, which was that in Abu Dhabi?
No, that was in Dubai.
Okay. They had Big Ben. And so it was kind of interesting also to see that a lot of their things were based on places in other countries. So I thought that was
Except for the Burj Khalifa, because it goes up. I mean, you're going to hurt your neck craning it up. That is so huge. And we did not go up to the top because of elevators. So we didn't do that. But
I tried to get him to do it.
now a couple of things.
Use points on it, so Bob, he ain't gonna want to do it if you can't use points.
So we stayed in a hotel called the Millennium. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay.
No,
It was a points hotel.
To be honest, I wouldn't necessarily stay. I mean, it was fine, but compared to the Conrad over in Abu Dhabi, and then he tries to take me to this in Dubai, it was a little disappointing. I was like, you couldn't have found something better. And there was a Conrad 4 or 5 buildings down the road from us, so I was a little salty.
Do y'all see what this means? I have
Points or elevate your life, like he always tries to say.
No, what it means is I have created a monster.
Well, he wants to save a few points, and I'm like, spend the points. What are we going to use the points for?
All right, so we stayed there. It was fine. It was the location was perfect.
Yes, location was awesome. Literally right across the street is the museum, the Future Museum, which is a beautiful building. It was, of course, right on that main road, and the subway. They do have a subway.
Yeah, their public transportation is super efficient, super good, super cheap.
Yes.
And so the first night there, we just did what everybody in Dubai seems to have as their favorite activity. We went we felt like we were back in the 80s because we went to the mall.
It's like an event there. Everybody wants to go to the mall, which afterward, I got thinking, of course, with it being so hot, a lot of people like to do indoor things, but it was hilarious. People were dressing up fancy to go to the mall.
Yeah, and I was on the hunt for something. I collect Omega swatches, and so they're hard to find in the United States, even at swatch stores. So I knew they had one there, but oh man, we got our steps in that day because we got lost a couple of times, and we must have walked 3 miles in that mall.
And it was packed. It was like we go to an amusement park and there's nobody there. We go to the mall and it was packed. It was hilarious.
It's the largest mall in the world.
1,200 stores.
Yeah, and these malls, and there's not just that one. They have 10
Several.
gigantic malls.
Yes.
And in the malls, they have crazy things like a giant aquarium you can scuba dive in.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they had an ice rink.
Resort in that one.
Yeah, a ski resort.
Ski resort.
Indoor ski resort in a mall.
They had ice skating, which, we've maybe seen that in a mall before.
Yeah,
they had a grocery store in one of them.
Yeah,
which
that's
I thought
right.
was so odd.
Like a huge grocery store.
Like we would have as a Walmart or something like that. They had that in one. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's a mall culture. And it kind of makes sense because it's so hot there. You need things like the amusement parks were both indoors and air conditioned. That I can see why people in a super hot culture want to have leisure activities that
Are indoor.
are indoor and air conditioned.
And I know that there are probably some times of the year where they can walk outside more leisurely, but the majority of their time, they have to.
If we ever go back, we need to do a food tour just of a mall food court.
Yes, we could do that. Now, they
Unbelievable.
had some nice looking restaurants.
They had a food
But,
court that probably had
again-
50 different,
And a waiting list. I mean, it was like there was lines and the restaurants were packed. So we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get in and out of the restaurants and in the mall area as easily as we did like in the amusement parks.
yeah. So we did that. Now the best culinary experience, well, that's a hard thing to say best because then there's what we ate the next night. But one of the best culinary experiences we had was they have a timeout market in Dubai.
Yes. And I'm going to have a separate video on this.
Yeah, but the timeout markets, they're in several cities around the world.
Yes.
We've been to one other in Lisbon.
We went to
and
one in Lisbon.
It's wild. It's like a food, all I can describe it as, it's
It is. It's like a food court, which sounds so weird, but they're all nice restaurants. Several of them were Michelin star restaurants.
yes. I mean, it is
Fancy
like a
chefs.
fancy food, gourmet food court.
Yep.
But it doesn't cost, I mean, it's not cheap like a food court in a mall, but it doesn't cost like the restaurant's true locations would cost, right? It's like what, $10 or $15 or $20 per person on things.
And it's very, has a great vibe. It's very kind of hip looking. It was really nice. They're fun. We went to one in Lisbon, and then we obviously been to this one, and we did find out that there's one in Boston,
Philadelphia,
maybe Philadelphia. I feel like DC or New York.
I think DC.
There's several here in the States. So we're going to check those out as well now that we know about them. We didn't know about it before. But we enjoyed just going around sampling different things. So we got several. We probably bought from 5 different ones. 4
Yeah,
or 5 different ones.
and there's a lot of foods from different parts of the world that are I mean well done. I love dim sum, so
Yeah,
I
you
got
got
some of
dim
that
sum.
there. It was we just had a lot of like a sampler of a lot of different
Yeah.
things, and it's right at the base of the Burj Khalifa.
Yes.
it's
right
really a neat
across
place.
from that huge mall.
Right outside of that mall,
Yeah,
right?
so
There's
you
a
can
special
walk out,
walkway.
and it has a special walkway.
So we did that. Well, the next day, we had tickets to go into the Museum of the Future. And before that, we decided, well, we got to see everything. Especially, we got to go out and see the Palm. You know, that giant island that's man-made, that's in the shape of palm trees, and it's so luxurious. So we weren't staying out there or anything like that. But we rode the subway out, and then we just bought monorail tickets.
Yes. And we just went down into the Palm. The very end of the Palm has an Atlantis, right? Is that
I
what
think
called?
it's Atlantis.
And then it has the largest water park in the world with the longest slides. That was another recurring theme throughout this trip. Everything that they do, they try to have the biggest mall, the largest building, the biggest, I don't know if they're just trying to get themselves on the map or what, but everything was advertised to us. Go to the water park with the longest slide in the world at a water park, or the most slides, and
Yeah,
like
they have
that.
the
It was
biggest building, they have the biggest mall, they have the
Yes.
longest water slides, they have the
Yes.
fastest roller coasters.
Yes, that's everything. It was all trying to advertise that type of being the biggest and the best. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's really
I
interesting.
can't say I thought it was absolute best, but they're definitely trying.
Well, we went back on the subway and we got off kind of near where our hotel is, went to the Museum of the Future. That is said to be the most beautiful building in the world. It's kind of like a strangely shaped donut.
Kind of an ornament.
And yeah, an ornament or a donut, and it has kind
Writings.
of writings, Arabic writings cut into
It
it that
is
light up at
beautiful.
night. It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And you ride these elevators up, and it's got different floors. And it just talks about. It's kind of science fiction because it's kind of discussing what things might happen with
be.
robotics or space travel, stuff like that. But it was worth it. I thought it was a really good experience.
For sure. Very much enjoyed it. It definitely you got it, and it has an observation deck that's really neat. You can go out and then look out and
It's kind of on the middle of the donut there.
So yeah, definitely worth going to. During that
subway ride, we also saw the big frame. We chose not to get off to go see it, but that
Was also there. So
Pretty iconic. Most people have seen that in Dubai. Yeah. The other thing we did after that, so then we got off there, and I really wanted to ride those traditional little boats on their river system there.
Yes, this
and
was fun.
they're very cheap. I think they're $1.50 each, right?
Oh,
And maybe even the guy, because we didn't have cash, and I tried to use my credit card. He doesn't take credit card. I think he just paid for it.
yes, so be mindful. You need to have some cash because we would not have been able to ride this if that man wasn't just nice and gave us a couple coins. So it's not something that you can just use your card for. You have to have cash. But it was neat, and it was all in the markets. That was another thing we were excited to do. We had heard a lot about the spice market, the gold market, and these different markets.
They call them souks. That's what they call them, the souks. So you have to go into Old Town Dubai. So, but the subway will take you right there. You get off, you walk. I mean, the public transportation will get you
It's
everywhere.
absolutely perfect. And I felt very safe. Everyone,
yeah.
all the Uber drivers kept telling us it's the safest place in the world, which again,
I
not
believe it.
propaganda.
I mean, we saw a
But-
guy on the subway stairs who was eating in his wallet and his phone. And his wallet was thick with money and cards. And he just, he forgot something.
And he went around the door area
Yeah, it was
where
out
he
of
had
sight,
no
and
vision.
there's just a mass of people moving by his phone
nobody
and
touched
wallet.
it.
Nobody touched. Nobody even looked at
Nobody
it.
even paid attention to it.
Clearly, it's
We
very
were
safe.
Blown away because he was out of eyesight of it. I mean, I've left my purse for a minute, but I won't leave it without seeing it, having a direct line of sight, and he did.
Experience. Then after that, we went back and thought, well, we'll get some dinner near our hotel, and we'll just kind of turn in because we got a flight tomorrow. We were flying Qatar on their business class up to Europe. So we decided to go back. We were just walking around looked on our phones, what are restaurants in the area. We walk across, it was a total accident. We walk across one of the best meals maybe we've ever had.
Thai food.
I mean, it was Thai food, a Thai restaurant. It was what was that? Saturday night?
good.
That was Saturday night, right? They were offering on Friday and Saturday night all you can eat. Now we're used to all you can eat. We live in America, the world of all you can eat buffets. But this was not all you can eat
different.
buffet.
Yeah.
It was like $29 US, and it was, which we thought was good for what we got. And it's just order anything off the menu.
As many times as you want.
As many times and as much as you want.
And it wasn't a special menu. It was the normal menu.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it was just
prawns
you just pick what you
dishes,
want.
steak dishes. I mean, all the. I said, well, we'd like to try all these appetizers. They brought us
Yeah.
all the appetizers.
And what I was amazed about too is they didn't limit you. Sometimes when you go to a place where it's all you can eat appetizers, they'll let you order one or two, and then they'll come back and they'll let you order another one, and then it's they slow it down. Nothing like that. They just were.
This is like you're the king walking into a banquet and anything you want.
It was
I mean,
crazy.
it was unbelievable. And we ate so much.
Yeah, that
we
was
probably
one of our best
each
meals.
gained weight at that meal.
Even though it was not in their culture, that was what we kept trying to do, is find food in their culture. We didn't.
We
But
didn't
this
find a
was-
lot of Middle Eastern food. I mean, probably we weren't looking well
tried.
enough. We
I
tried.
mean-
Remember they had some food truck type thing? Not
Yeah,
food
we
trucks,
ate,
but stands. And I tried to get, and they were closed, or the line was super long, or
Yes.
whatever. So, well, that's kind of a summary. The very next morning we got up. We could have taken the subway, but there was an Uber driver. There was $12 to go to the airport. So we went to the airport and we kind of ended our adventure.
Too, when we were in the souk market, we were kind of trying to figure out where to go, and we had to look for where the bus was or where the subway was. And when you look down at the ground, they had 4 different arrows, and then those arrows walked you to a bus stop. And it had a little bus on it if you wanted to go on a bus. Had a little subway. It had a little boat, and you just kind of followed the markings. I thought that was pretty neat, to have it just listed down on the concrete or the asphalt. You just walked along to get to the area, because there was a time where we didn't quite know where we needed to be, and it was just once we figured that out, you can kind of go anywhere. If you want a tram, get on the tram. If you wanted to, you kind of followed the blue line or followed the yellow line. I thought that was kind of a neat, simple system.
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, they make it easy. They make it very tourist friendly. So if you ever want to go to Abu Dhabi and Dubai, well, a lot of people just go to Dubai and they miss out on Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
I say do both. I mean,
Yes.
for the $100 Uber ride between, it's well worth it. So do
Yes.
both of them because, I mean, both of them are very different,
Yes.
but they both give they're both a great experience.
One's more of a city feel, and then one was a little bit more relaxed, more of casual. The other one was more hustle and bustle. But yeah, both a great experience. You have to do both. So thank you for joining us on our tour of Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And if you don't mind to like and subscribe to our channel, just helps more people to see the things that we're doing and the way that I'm spending BOPS points. See you next time.